In war, information can be more powerful than weapons. A single report believed at the right moment can move armies, delay offensives, and change the course of history. During the Second World War, intelligence became a battlefield of its own, fought not with bullets but with trust, deception, and imagination. And on that battlefield, the most effective spy of the war never existed. He sent hundreds of reports. He was trusted at the highest levels of the German command. He influenced decisions that shaped the greatest military operation in history. He was praised, rewarded, and relied upon by the enemy. And yet, he had no real network, no agents, no secret meetings, no dangerous escapes. His greatest weapon was fiction. The story begins not with a master spy, but with an ordinary man who despised tyranny. Juan Pujol Garcia was not a soldier, a trained intelligence officer, or a man groomed for espionage. He was a Spaniard who had lived through civil war and emerged with a deep hatred of authoritarianism. He wanted to fight fascism, but he had no army to join, no weapons to wield, and no clear way to matter in a global conflict. So he chose deception. When the war spread across Europe, Pujol decided he would become a spy for the Allies. He approached British intelligence and offered his services. They refused. He had no experience, no credentials, and no obvious access to enemy secrets. Most men would have stopped there. Pujol did not. Instead, he decided to become a spy anyway. By first convincing the enemy that he already was one, he contacted German intelligence, presenting himself as a loyal supporter of the Axis cause with access to information inside Britain. The Germans, desperate for eyes and ears across the Channel, were eager to believe him. They recruited him, trained him in basic tradecraft, and gave him instructions to travel to Britain and begin reporting. But Pujol never went to Britain. He remained in Lisbon. From a hotel room, using tourist guides, newspapers, public broadcasts, and imagination, he began constructing an intelligence network that did not exist. He invented agents, personalities, backstories, motivations, and conflicts. He described dock workers, soldiers, civil servants, and sailors, all fictional, each feeding him scraps of information. And the Germans believed every word. His reports were detailed, mundane, and slow. He made mistakes deliberately. He submitted information late, ensuring it arrived just after events occurred. This made his intelligence appear authentic, accurate but imperfect, human rather than miraculous. Trust grew. The Germans praised his reliability. They paid him. They encouraged him. They asked for more. What they did not know was that every word was invented. Eventually, British intelligence took notice. They realized that someone was feeding Germany large volumes of false information, and doing it convincingly. Instead of stopping him, they recruited him. Pujol became the centerpiece of Britain's deception strategy, overseen by MI5. His fictional network was expanded, refined, and weaponized. New agents were created. Old ones were killed when convenient. Internal disputes were staged. Requests for money were made to enhance realism. The Germans never questioned it. As the war progressed, Pujol's importance grew. His reports shaped German understanding of Britain's defenses, military readiness, and intentions. He became so trusted that when conflicting intelligence arrived, German handlers deferred to him. Then came the moment when everything would matter. By 1944, the Allies were preparing the largest amphibious invasion in history. The success of that invasion depended not only on soldiers and ships, but on deception. The Germans had to be convinced the landings would occur somewhere else, and remain convinced even after the invasion began. This was the purpose of Operation Fortitude. The plan was audacious. The Allies would create an entirely fictional army, complete with fake radio traffic, dummy equipment, and false command structures. They would place this imaginary force opposite the Pas-de-Calais, the shortest route across the Channel, and convince Germany that this was the real invasion force. Pujol was essential. Through his fictional agents, he reported massive troop buildups in southeast England. He described tanks, divisions, supply depots, and command staff that did not exist. He spoke of preparations, rumors, and schedules. He warned of an impending invasion, but not where it would actually happen. The Germans listened. When Allied forces landed in Normandy on June 6, 1944, Pujol sent an urgent message to his handlers. He claimed his agents had tried to warn them, but communication delays prevented the information from arriving in time. This was critical. It explained why the Germans had been surprised, without undermining his credibility. More importantly, he told them the truth they wanted to hear. Normandy was a diversion. The real invasion, he said, was still coming at Pas-de-Calais. German command believed him. Even as Allied troops fought to secure beachheads, German armored divisions remained in reserve, waiting for the main invasion that never came. Reinforcements were delayed. Counterattacks were postponed. Strategic decisions were paralyzed by uncertainty. For weeks, the Germans held back their most powerful units. The deception worked. Pujol continued to feed Germany false updates, reinforcing the illusion of a second, larger invasion force poised to strike. The Allies gained time to build strength in Normandy, push inland, and establish a permanent foothold in Europe. By the time the truth became undeniable, it was too late. The front had collapsed. The irony of the operation is staggering. German intelligence believed so deeply in a spy who never existed that they structured their entire defensive strategy around his reports. They trusted him over reconnaissance, over captured documents, over battlefield evidence. They trusted fiction over reality. Pujol was rewarded by both sides. The Germans awarded him the Iron Cross for his service. The British later honored him for saving countless lives through deception. Few individuals in history have been decorated by both sides of a global war, and yet his greatest achievement remains largely invisible. There were no daring escapes, no shootouts, no secret gadgets. His war was fought with typewriters, patience, and psychological insight. He understood that intelligence is not about truth alone, but about plausibility. He gave the enemy what they expected to see, not what they needed to know. His success exposed a fundamental weakness in intelligence systems. The more information you receive, the more vulnerable you become to manipulation. Germany did not fail because it lacked spies. It failed because it trusted one too much. The spy who never existed did not just mislead the enemy. He shaped their worldview. He became a lens through which they interpreted the entire war. When reality conflicted with his reports, reality was dismissed. By the end of the war, Pujol disappeared into obscurity, his role hidden, his identity protected. For decades, even historians did not know the full extent of his impact. But his legacy is clear. The most successful spy of the Second World War never stole secrets. He created them. And in doing so, he helped decide the fate of Europe.